Friends, 15th day of war in Ukraine. There have been some changes overtly, covertly. Things have moved and now they are more visible than ever. Even though on ground it doesn't seem to be so. So let us see few of the information that I have for you. By the way, before starting, the sanction against Russia is the biggest one today, even leaving North Korea and Iran behind. Well, that happens. And in the meantime, Russia has also threatened Germany that if you guys continue doing this, the Nord Stream 1, which is in action, will be banned from Russia, will be stopped. And in an entire European Union's 40% energy requirement is through Russia. Let us see what effect it has. India's position in Quad is little jittery. Quad wants in its last week ongoing meeting to denounce Russian aggression in Ukraine, but India's position has been neutral on this, even in UN General Assembly. Will Quad turn into another NATO? Asian Pacific NATO? That is to be seen. On the other hand, there are other organizations working in this region, trying to encircle China, like AUKUS, Australia, UK and USA, that came overnight to sideline French company which had deal with Australia on nuclear submarines. I think, I'm not sure, 80 billion US dollar. It was a huge, massive one. They have inter-imperialist, deep cutthroat competition and even five-fives. You find them out. We will not go into detail into them. And of course, there is another pact has been signed where India has signed, that is between India, China and Russia. There are so many, confusing. Do not worry. This geopolitical situation which was a decade back now and few years later will not be same. They change very fast depending on the need of the capital where to flow, which area it has more ability to extract profit. Well, in the meantime, USA has been trying to find out other or alternative sources for energy. And it has approached to Venezuela. Venezuela to some extent has agreed because USA is lifting up all the bans on it. Saudi Arabia and UAE, they refuse to even talk to Biden. Well, this also happens. US ambassador to UN, Greenfield, condemned Russian use of cluster bombs. She said in Twitter, it has no place on the battlefield, but quickly they deleted it. They remembered very soon that the Washington does not endorse it. There was a demand to ban it in the UN, but Washington said no, it can't be banned. Hypocrisy has no end, friends, especially if you're talking about US imperialism and its military wing NATO. Yeah, it is USA's military wing. Now inside Ukraine, the consolidation of Russian military vis-a-vis the defensive posture of Ukraine is continuing. DPR militia cleaned, as per the claim with the photography and video, Volnovakha from Ukrainian army and nationalists. Consolidation continues in Kharkiv, Kherson. Skadvosk also has been cleared of Ukrainian army. They have given up that area without even fight. Crimean border with the Ukraine, Odessa, Mariupol, and finally Kyiv. Kyiv hasn't fallen yet, you all know that, but they have surrounded it more firmly and penetrating on its outskirts. And in the meantime, USA has denied after accepting that it is using biological facilities in Ukraine. And to be on offensive, it has said that Russia may use chemical and biological weapons in Ukraine. Well, propaganda continues while Russia said its aim is not to overthrow Ukrainian government. Now here I want to bring in that Putin at present seems to be victorious. He has upper hand. How? Let us see few of the outcomes that has come. US and NATO has been exposed badly in Ukraine. Whatever they claimed, said, wanted to do, have failed. Even arms and ammunition supply is limited. They can't supply fighter aeroplanes. They dare not. Yes, anti-aircraft guns and missiles are there. Anti-tank missiles are there. Guns are there, shells are there. That is being supplied en masse, no doubt about it. Second, how Putin has upper hand. Ukraine has said no to NATO. That's what was one of the aims of Russian special military operation in Ukraine. European Union through Germany has already said no to Ukraine in the folds of European Union. No Western huge arms and ammunition supply, no nuclear power to Ukraine, all has been agreed. Ukraine also seems to be coming to the terms that they will recognize DBR and LPR and probably even Donbass. Only thing they are saying that in Donbass region, the Ukrainians must not be discriminated. They know well how they discriminated and oppressed the Russian population there. Russia has no problem and LPR, DPR would have no problem knowing them well. NATO, as I said, is humiliated. It does not have face now. NATO's existence after 1991 was absurd, but it continued its eastward movement, eastwards expansion. It was not a simple defensive entity, it was an offensive entity to plunder the world, to topple the government which was not for USA. It was like a terrorist organization. With the help of USA, UK, they created Taliban, ISIS, and other such entities, which had changed the world scenario today. And they, after creating this, they say, fight against terrorism. Well, in the meantime, China quietly, of course, it is supporting Russia in a neutral fashion, unlike Cuba. Cuba has very clear position on this. You must read this. Cuba has said they do not accept war, but then they know that a war has been created by USA and NATO. China is not that vocal. It has taken the position what India, Pakistan and few other countries have taken. Yet nonetheless, China's position in this, wherein even Russia and US and everyone is agreeing to China's mediation. Unlike what France, Germany and even Israel, they jumped here and there, no. India has no role, whatever they talk about. They just wanted India's vote in yes, no, neutral in UN. That was the end of it. And India had interest, of course, to evacuate its thousands of students, which is almost complete now. So China has established its credibility much more. And now hereafter, a new world order, not in the terms of what Americans have been saying, a new geopolitical situation is emerging. Of course, imperialism continues. The monopolies of the world continue to rule the world, wherein less than 100 of them control more than what the 50% of the Earthians below have. They control all the natural resources. They control the government, their own government as well as others. And the war benefits them. They want war. They create war. They create war mania and propaganda so that their people, Poor people. They get into this today, world over, especially the Americans, Britishers, jumping, even inside Russia. Stop war, denounce Putin. And every form of stories is going on to denounce Putin. Friends, it is not Putin or Biden. It is capital, finance capital, monopoly capital. And their owners who have created this world for you, wherein 90% of you, more than 7 billion of you, us, me also included, have turned into wage slaves, beggars, paupers, and have followed what they want us to talk. They have been thinking what they want us to think, starting from LKG, KG. Our brains here have been captured by them through their media, social media, education system, governments, and the entire system that includes your judiciary, your constitution, army, military, administration is for them, not for us. Yeah, they fight among themselves, undoubtedly. Even the military which is fighting, we don't know how many have been killed, perished, to be precise. Are they rich people? Are they billionaires? Bullshit. They are like one of us. Militia, DPR and LPR, of course, they are fighting for their own independence. But these Nazis, new Nazis, whatever you call them, the fighting, or the jihadis, Islamic militants, Hindu militants, earlier Christian ones, or white supremacists, who are they? They are one of us, but so brainwashed that they can't think beyond their feed, their bosses, the narratives created by the bosses. The actual war is between the capital in various forms versus the working people of the world. Materialized in Ukraine, continuing in Yemen, Palestine, Syria, Haiti, many places. Ethiopia, if you have forgotten, Sudan. It is continuing. And in your own country, in America, millions are homeless, hungry. So in UK. So in my neighboring countries, Pakistan, Myanmar, military has taken over. And my own country, India. We are in one of the top list as far as poverty is concerned, atrocities against women and minorities and tribes are concerned. Atrocities against the lawyers, against the journalists, against the political activists rotting behind the jails. For two complete years without even going to the court. Case has not started. And after 2 years, you maybe said, okay, you go out. Your protest has gone for bunt. Well, friends, diverted. But do listen. Do understand. Try to understand. Why are you today in this position? Whether you are taking sides of the US, NATO, or its opposition. Which side are you taking? Are you taking your own side? Thank you, friends.